All right, and it is showing you the wrong terminal, but that's okay. You can see my notes. It's the first time I have notes for you to see. Very advanced. Okay, welcome to the stream. Let me know if the audio is okay, because I've been playing around with the setup a bit. As you might see, I don't have a microphone in my face right now, which I guess is hopefully an improvement. So the idea today is to control my key lights with this device. So this clicky little monstrosity is the key bow. That's this one. It's a neat little device, runs on top of so there's a Raspberry Pi 0W on the underside there. That does all the fun stuff, and then there's, oh, thanks for the note on the audio. I'm glad it's fine. It's been a heck of a ride to set up, but I'm experimenting with my production. That's fun. So this stream should actually be full 4K, which is also neat. So make sure YouTube isn't sort of shorting you on the bits and bytes and giving you some lower quality. This should be enjoyed in full 4K ideally. Hey, you like the middle camera? I'm trying to snazzy up the layout. Okay, so the key bow is intended to control my lights. So these are the lights that I'm using to make the stream look decent. And currently I have a script that I can use to just go key light off. And then it turns off my single key light that was on. It do that, it turns on both my key lights. So I have one up there and one up there. And I can turn off just number 1, and then you get that, and I can turn off number 2, and then both are off, and then I can just turn on both of them. Let's turn off number 2. We can also do brightness. So let's tune that to 100% on number 1. Oh, it was already 100%. Let's dial it back down to 50. Cool. So this is all a Python script that I'm using for this, using a library called Keylight. It's a good library, works fine. I created my own library called Keylight, which I can use to do this in Elixir. And I want to set up a nerves device or a nerves firmware on this one so that I can use it as a control panel for turning on off lights and tuning brightness. So that's sort of the goal, and we'll see exactly how far we get. Thankfully, we have some references to how to control this key bow from McLean or A. McLean, I think, on the Nerves keyboard project. So they've used this as a sort of prototyping piece of hardware, and so they built out a lot of code for talking to it. That's why it's pulsing like this. I think I have the Nerves keyboard firmware on it right now, but it's a little bit dated, so that's why we're running we're gonna just set up the parts we need. So we set up a new Nerves project using the generator. We do export mix target rpi 0 mix get. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you're watching, don't forget to say hi in the chat. I do try to pay attention to the chat. There's a bit more delay than there usually is, just because I'm streaming in higher quality. That means there's delay. I guess I don't want to run the firmware yet. I want to set up my Wi-Fi credentials, which I, true to habit, will pack in here. So this I have done before. I never remember the exact format of that config, so let's check. Deck should have it. All right, so we can just yank that. No, hold on. That's one. There we go. So that should let me pull most of that data, and I will set the regulatory domain. I don't think it matters. And I want to set a host name that isn't the same as everything else. So let's call this light. Probably just called light switch, but I want a short domain. That should be it for this. I can actually do this just to keep things quick and simple. This is not the first time I'm exposing my Wi-Fi credentials on the stream. I don't worry about it. And if you worry about it, sorry. All right. So that should be most of the config we need. We do need to set up some additional stuff. So dependencies mostly. Because Nerves doesn't shove a lot of things in your face. We need circuits. Oh, first of all, we need Keylight, which is my library, and that's not on Hex yet. It's not ready. Really not ready. We're actually working on some problems using it in scripts right now, but I can include it as a pot dependency. And then I just want the circuits GPIO. So I want to know what the current version is. And circuits SPI as well. So these are things from referencing this code that A. McLean sent me. I know that I will need the SPI and the GPIO circuits libraries to talk to this thing. Those are fairly normal protocols for this type of hardware. And then this one, no, build status failed, that I'm not super worried. So 2.3.0, sure. I hope this is on Hex. Imagine so. So Chameleon is a library for wrangling colors, which I think should be good to use. What? Is this not on Hex? There it is. Sometimes, I swear, Google search. Must not like Todd Resident. So these are the libraries I believe we will need. Keylight uses mDNS light, but that should be included as part of this process. Duplicated at the top level. Please remove one of them. Was it already? Did I screw it up? Too many circuit spies. So then we make some firmware. And one of the things I will have to do, I don't remember if this registers correctly, and I don't remember what keys I put on it, so I will just pull this. Oh, might as well pull power first, even though it's a little bit inconvenient. And pull this SD card. So this is just my SD card reader. And I remodeled my office a little bit. So now I will have to go deep under table here. Plug in my USB thing. Did it get detected? There we go. It popped up a ton of things, so that means it got detected. Oh, my backdrop isn't the right size. I should fix that. I actually need to make a new backdrop that probably works better in 4K. But let's at least stretch it to the screen. There we go. That's my wallpaper fixed. Okay, we have that thing in. We've done the mix firmware. So let's do mix firmware burn. And it should ask us ideally what device we want to use. So do we want the 16 gig or the empty one? So the empty one is my audio interface, which you shall not burn firmware to, please. So that should give us the firmware on that little dongle. So let's plug that in, shall we? Just get it on in there. Then we plug this, and from habit I plug the middle port, which is extra good if you have it connected to other stuff. So if you have it connected to a computer, that's very useful. Let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing the heartbeat light in there. Don't know if you can see it. But there's a green light blinking in there, indicating that it is booting. So with some luck, it should show up as light.local eventually. At least if it managed the Wi-Fi. If I didn't screw up the Wi-Fi too bad. Or screw something else up. That's also an option. I think and hope this is a Wi-Fi model, honestly. That's something I should check. Or Pi0W. Yes, it has Wi-Fi. That would have been rough. Okay, it's up. Let's see, we should be able to get into it. There we go. So it should have the Keylight module in there now, which should let us just verify the Keylight module works. Oh dear. The following arguments were given to Keylight serve to host. That was unexpected. I think I have a bug in the Keylight module. That's unfortunate. So it's getting something it doesn't expect. Well, I guess we'll just have to have to do some debugging. It's not a big module, it's not a big library, so that should be fairly manageable. So if we do this, so we have an SSH into our device, and then go .keylight. So keylight.discover is failing line 130. Hey Pat. Serve to host. Getting binary? That's unexpected. 35. Oh yeah, I guess there could be other records entirely. Oh wait, it's a serve record because it's hitting this code path. Two-string identifier. The following arguments were given to Keylight. I did not expect it to not give me tuples. That's new. I wonder what that's about. So, new issue, I haven't seen it before. Don't know entirely what it's about. So, when in doubt, I print the bug. So now I will have to just dump this file so I can copy it. Oh. Tmux is going to be a little bit annoying with me now. Is there a good Unix command for copy contents of file dash? Do I have xclip? Oh dear. No. No, that's not what I want. Okay. I'm gonna have to copy paste this in another terminal just because it's gonna get a little bit tricky otherwise. So you won't be seeing where I grab it from, but I'm just copying that file that we just changed so I can paste it on device and just replace the entire library. That's my plan. So we go into the device. We paste an entire module. Bam. And this is a fun part about Elixir. Yeah, xclip might be able to do it. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So now if we run discover, I think we should at least be told. Yeah, we were told it was what it was. So that shouldn't have come as a shock or anything. Let's see. It's a little bit unexpected. So it is a DNS RR. It has all of this stuff. So actually, let's print the entire record here. So we'll paste the module again. So we can see this was an Elgato Keylight. I wonder how come that comes in a different shape now. Am I running a strange version of mDNS Lite, maybe? Maybe not the version I'm used to. Huh. Actually, let's take a look at that possibility. Zero 0.8.3 is what I have been using, so I don't think it's that. I wonder if this is a difference in which means sorry, did the stream have a hiccup just now? I think I saw some, so YouTube indicated that there were streaming issues, and I hope it's not a hiccup on my connection. Everything looks fine on my side, but let me know if there's an issue. Okay, so serve to host. Let's make it handle a new thing, I guess. So should be able to just do this, I guess. But DNS record, that's a service record. Good, good. I mean, I don't know about this. We could see if we can just skip it and see if we are still getting those other records that look more like what this library expects. In that case, we might not have to make as many changes. Oh. Whoa. T-Mux, come on. Yeah, pal. Oh, yeah, and if we are getting anything else, what would we do with that? Let's give it a nil, and if not, yes, nil. Oh, let's do if key. Else, okay, so now we will nil those and filter them out. This is not a beautiful solution, but something is broken, and I mostly want to see if we can go past it. Otherwise, we will have to spend this stream trying to fix it, which we are essentially doing now, but with some luck, we will still get to press some buttons. When did I... Oh, txt to name. It's getting binaries. It's really odd. Because it was getting tuples when I wrote this code. Okay, so both of these are getting binaries. Type bit string. Okay, so let's try the local version of Keylight. Sorry about the cough. Ha! That just works. And okay, so let's bring back the part where we can inspect the record. And just recompile. So this is what I expect the records to be. Zero, zero, 3. So I guess on the Nerves hardware and going over VintageNet, you get a different return value. Wait until I tell Frank about this. Now, I mean, I will report it, but I'm mostly surprised. So what did our record that did not work for us look like? Lots of scroll back. 0, 119, 0, 0, 35, 163, 192. I have this sort of semi-suspicion that that's an IP address, but no. I don't think so. No, this is not, that's not my network. Yeah, no. I don't know why we would get this on one of them. And get this on the other one. There might be a perfectly good reason why that's the case, but I'm not understanding it. Well, actually, I think something that this does do is offer us a potential workaround. So we can still say, okay, D equals that. So now we have some devices. And we can do Keylight off, D. Okay, iNet start. Right, we did not ship iNets with this firmware. So that we can fix fairly easily. Just go check out brush dash dot on this one. Go back to our light switch project. So extra applications. This one requires iNuts. Maybe that will fix it. That would be cool. I don't know if that's easy. I wouldn't expect it to, but maybe. Troubleshooting. Right. Ship the update before you take a drink of water because it takes a little bit. Now we're pushing an update to this device. Meanwhile, keyboard sounds. Actually, you might not pick them up. Can bring them closer. So are we updated now then? Yeah, 28 seconds. Let's just see if Keylight Discover works now. No, we still have this sort of same issue, or the same issue. So let's paste those. Keylight dot off D. No match right hand side. Error failed to connect to address Elgato Keylight. Oh. Oh. Hold on. Maybe I might have forgotten an important detail. So we want to be able to resolve Gen TCP, and then we have to add the bridge configuration, which I entirely forgot was actually required. This could explain all of it. All of it. Oh, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. But at least we might not have a mystery when this is over, which is that's sort of nice. I don't love mysteries in computers. And this thing. Let's add this bridge config here. Comma there. Both frustrating and very a big relief, because I actually want this device built and I want to use it, so it's super annoyed if it doesn't work. So yes, Tmux, I know where I am. Just trying to do the thing. Exit. Ping. I like how this is just a long break in the ping. But it was fun to set this library up as well, because once you have mDNS working, it was very easy to sort of discover these devices, and I think all Elgato devices work similarly. And then the API, which I pulled from Python's Keylight, the API for these devices is very simple. It's just REST endpoints. Okay, no luck with that change. Actually, just verify that we're running on the new stuff. Yeah, that we are. No, not that. So let's go up to this one. So it doesn't seem like that fixed our issue, unfortunately. I would have loved it to. Or it might just mean that I didn't actually fix this issue. I hope I did. I hope I set it up correctly. Let's see. So if I do Keylight discover, so these should be routable by the nerves device. Otherwise, we don't have mDNS Lite bridge configuration in place. So if I can turn off that light, fail to connect to address. Okay, so that makes me think I did not succeed with that. Or then again, it hasn't queried for those. Well, it has just got these responses. Okay, so because if we do this on this local one, so this is just running on my local machine. If we do Keylight off D here, that turned off the light. And this turned on both of the lights. And we can set brightness 100. Now we boosted both lights to 100. So that stuff works. I can't honestly tell if I screwed up the bridge config, or if I screwed up something else. And I have a hard stop at 14:30, so we might not reach my goals for this project. That's frustrating, but sometimes that's life, especially as a programmer. All right, we don't have a Git. So let's check our config. Additional name servers. Let's just copy paste config, which might sometimes reveal an issue or two. I think that looks reasonably the same, but I'll use the pasted one. And for DNS bridge enabled true. I know I copy pasted this, so actually let's make sure we have, and I believe it's 0.8.3. That is the most recent. Yeah. Make sure we have that. Make sure we have inets running. Super surprised this isn't working actually. Actually, let's check something. Nerves node does a similar song and dance. What does that do with regards to the records? What's the shape of the records it receives? Query caches, that's the records. And it parses a host name from a tuple. That's what I would expect. Let's burn the firmware again. Maybe I failed at maybe I just pushed the firmware, didn't burn it. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something. Ah, that's annoying. Rawr! Sometimes I don't like computers. Now it's going down. So the UID of this release is A64BC something something. It's probably good. And we should be on partition B. Valid B, 23 seconds. No. That's strange. I wonder what changed. So, nerves node, I think this repo. Because this stuff is just for setting up airline distribution. Okay, but I didn't do mixed up get since I updated. But it didn't change anything, so. Yeah, it's trying to think if there's something I'm missing here. Well, that's unfortunate. So we could see if we can do a quick race to just see if we can control some lights. Just make sure the other parts, I mean control some of these lights and some of that, just to see that that part is working. Right, equal sign. So we have this SOF. Not sure we need that. Let's just add it. And then end of file marker, I guess. And then we have this, the LED order, which is probably quite important. Let's paste some of that. And then we can do alias circuits SPI to have SPI available. SPI open, SPI device. Didn't I add SPI device? I think I did. Okay, we have it open. Okay, it's just my autocomplete is screwed up. I don't want to register with any engines. What I want to do is take some of this and just write things. So frame. Okay, so it seems like I should just be able to create, like if I want to make the whole thing red, let's assume that's what I want to do. Chameleon convert. Takes some kind of color and turns it into something else. All right. So let's say the color we want is chameleon.hex.new. So very red. And no green and lots of blue. Chameleon.convert. And then we want chameleon.color.rgb, I believe. Chameleon.rgb, maybe. Oh, color.rgb. That's good. So now we have a color value. The way they use those is here. And they do. I don't actually know how big these frames are. It really doesn't say, I don't think. All right, engine register paintable. I don't want to get into that. But let's assume we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, right. So we have a certain number of LEDs. So yeah, that colors and blah blah. Hey Marcel. So enum.reduce, and we do PI LED order. We do solve, which we have, and that's just the num, which we won't use, and then that's the act. So our RGB is just C. I want to paint it all the same color. RGB.B, RGB.G, and RGB.R. Very nice. And tack and end a file on it. That's some data. So now let's use our SPI device, which I didn't capture. So let's do, let's see, it's V7, right? Yeah. So SPI equals V7 right through LM1. So that's SPI dev. So SPI transfer SPI dev beta. Ha! It's purple now. Okay, so that part worked. Some hardware will cooperate today. And so we have these GPIO pins. Let's do those. Don't care about any of that. And we just want to open all of these. So we do pins equal enum.map, GPIO pins, function, pin number. Yeah, we don't want the key either. Pin ref, GPIO.open, pin number, input, pull mode, pull up. And I don't really care about their data structure there. So I'll do pin number, pin ref. Because they're setting up a whole thing to keep polling for state and things. Oh, right, I didn't alias things. Alias circuits, the GPIO. Then let's see, I want to do pins. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. That gives me a bunch of references. So we should be able to, at any point, let's call it check, and it should take pins. So enum map them, and that means it gets a num and a ref. And it should do a GPIO.read of the ref. And it can just return that and the num like this. And I'm not going to care about handle GPIO interrupt. All right. So that's what I should do. So right now everything's 1. Let's press a key, see if that helps. 0. So if I press all the keys, 0s. All right, so that part also works. And I wouldn't be surprised if we can actually use circuits GPIO interrupt to get messages when these change instead of what these have been doing and polling on a 15 millisecond timer, which might be the right call for their use case, but might not be what I need. So now what I would want to do is to be able to tap these and have them control the light. But with all the problem we had with the light. I don't think that's gonna happen right now. Because I'm getting mDNS responses that contain binary instead of tuples, which is unexpected. I haven't seen that when I've done anything with mDNS so far. So I'll have to investigate that further, but it seems like everything we need to do to actually do most of this, like to do the color and the buttons, that's fine. There's no issue there. Yeah. So we could easily, or fairly easily, create color control and sort of indicate like this. Well, maybe the blue key is the one where we raise the light or make it colder, or yeah, that's the kind of control I want on this, to maybe be able to actually control the light. So, and that should be absolutely doable when I fix this bug. Damn it. All right, not everything can be a resounding success, and not everything is. Still pretty happy with, hey Ashtosh, by the way. Still pretty happy with the fact that everything else worked. And I'm pretty happy with how this setup worked. Let me know if you have thoughts on the sort of layout and setup, and if everything was visible and viewable and understandable. I think the 4K probably helps with legibility if you're on a big screen. And yeah, I think this talking head in the middle that is me now, I think that's a pretty decent layout for getting this camera, still having me around if that's something you like, and having a browser, having a full terminal on the side. So if you have thoughts on the setup, I'm curious to hear what you think. But that will have to wrap it up, because I'm gonna send my wife off to have to go meet some people, actual people, and me and my daughter are gonna have a hangout. So that's gonna be good.